Today, we are talking about the future of the cafe, the future of coffee jobs, and the future of basically baristas. And before I start, I'll give you fair warning, this video is more or less a bit of a rant, but it's covering a topic that I find pretty interesting, and I think it'll be more in our faces as time goes on. Of course, technology is great, and I'm not here to argue against it. And I think we can all agree, whether we're talking about coffee or really anything else, technology has changed our lives for the better. But also, it's a double-edged sword, and we can also all agree that technology has changed our lives for the worse in some respects. They all have their own inherent risks. Look at something as seemingly simple as just browsing the internet. That can have its own consequences in the real world. So before I get into the impending barista robot invasion, a quick word from this video's sponsor, NordVPN. NordVPN is a virtual private network provider, and they have over 5,000 servers in over 60 different countries. They're fully encrypted, they don't track, they don't keep logs, and they have the fastest connection speeds on the market. Plus, you can use it on up to 6 different devices on every major platform. Laptops, cell phones, and tablets. It can keep you and even a few family members protected, no matter where you are or what device you're using, as you browse, buy, and watch. And speaking of watching, no more region-locked videos on YouTube. And you can also watch what's available on other countries' streaming services by simply selecting a server in that country. Personally, I've been using NordVPN for a while to watch UK Netflix, but also for that added layer of protection when using online banking or crypto trading platforms. If you aren't already taking your online security seriously, there's no better time than the present. You can get an exclusive deal at nordvpn.com/Sprometheus, and it's risk-free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it. Around the end of the last decade, there was a lot of attention on industrial automation. And even though we're just a couple baby steps into the current decade, a lot has happened and the world has changed. And a lot of us, or myself included, have likely seen an increased push towards removing people from those face-to-face roles in the service industry. This goes well beyond the self-checkout at your local grocery store, and in terms of cafes, there's a lot of things beyond the register that are in the automation crosshairs. I've seen a few posts like this one from Baristas, who is a super automatic espresso machine manufacturer, and they feature a robot using their machine, steaming milk, and even pouring latte art. And to be honest, it's pretty impressive. But it got me thinking about the future of coffee jobs, namely the barista, which arguably is the catalyst or the starting point for most people in building a passion and in some cases a lifelong career in coffee. Of course, we've already been introduced to automation in one form or another in our industry. Things like the Puck Press, Uber Milk, and the La Marzocco Wally are semi-automated machines that are designed to make a barista's job not only easier, but also a more consistent product. You can also go a step forward from there, and you can buy a super automatic espresso machine, which essentially will do all the work for you. From grinding to tamping to pulling the shot, also just a variety of different espresso preparations, and it'll also steam your milk. And I'm not talking about that soap foam you get from Starbucks. Those kinds of machines draw a varied response from those in the industry, but they still need a barista to operate them. They are still just essentially a tool. Of course, we all know what the next logical step is, and that's removing the barista altogether. We are, of course, the most inconsistent part of the entire coffee making process. And what that post of the barista robot shows us is we are at that step. Companies are buying and selling robots that are capable of mimicking nearly every aspect of being a barista, outside of the awkward small talk and the questionable taste in music. Like most topics like this, there's always going to be someone who falls in the middle. There's going to be some neutral ground, but for most of us in the coffee industry, we're either going to be on one side or the other. We're going to be absolutely for it, or just vehemently against it. Part of me wants to always maintain the craft. Making coffee by hand, roasting by senses, those types of things are just so romantic, but they technically start to be old-fashioned at a certain point. But I'm sure I'm not the only person in that headspace. But while I was on this kick and researching industrial automation, I did find it isn't always bad news. Maybe. I've already mentioned increased consistency, but there are also benefits like lower cost of production, higher efficiency, and safety. You can also make the case that baristas will no longer face those repetitive tasks that have the potential to cause injury. No more burns from steam wands, strains from tamping, or spurning the flirtatious advances of that one customer who mistakes good service for romantic interest. Digging deeper into automation as just a general topic and trying to find that silver lining, there are some who believe that those whose jobs are affected by automation will just see their jobs evolve instead of disappear, which I think can be true in some respects and in some industries, but not all of them. And personally, I have no idea what a barista's job would evolve into, at least at the ground level cafe. But in the end, for me, it feels like the true benefits of automation are for the business owner and not the employees, which I think is going down a pretty damaging, if not dystopian path for the future of cafes and the coffee industry. This kind of video isn't my normal type of programming, but it's still coffee related, and I wanted to start a conversation, plant a seed, and see what y'all are thinking on this topic. I don't think there's necessarily a right or a wrong answer here. This isn't a quiz and I'm not keeping score. But this is one of those topics that I think the next generation of up-and-coming coffee professionals will face, and we as the current generation have the ability to shape. And with all that said, I think it's time I wrap this one up and pass the conversation on to you. What do you think about barista automation? What do you think about the future of the cafe? Is this something you've thought about before or something I'm just bringing up to your attention now? I want to have a discussion with y'all about this, so drop your comments and your thoughts down below. And lastly, just really quick, just in terms of channel news, this is officially my 200th YouTube video. So I want to thank anyone who's watched either one video, 5 videos, or all 200 videos over the last few years. I really appreciate the support. And now, if you're not subscribed, it's the perfect time to do so. We're about to hit 100,000 subscribers in this community, and I would really appreciate your support moving forward. So hit that subscribe button. And as always, I'll see y'all next week. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that little bell button for notifications of new videos posted every Friday. Check out my Instagram at Sprometheus for content throughout the week, my blog at Sprometheus.com, my coffee at littlegiant.coffee, and as always, stay caffeinated. Pony Boy.